For more than 25 years, the smartest 30 minutes on television. From the campus of Wake Tech, get your crania in gear. It's time to play Brain Game.
Competing for the Brain Game Championship today are Raleigh Charter High School and Lee Early College. Here we go. All right. Start off with some high fives there. Good job. There we go. Good extension. All right. Well, high fives. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brain Game Championship. I'm your host, Mark Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us here at Wake Tech Scott, Northern Wake Campus. Let's get this thing started and meet the players. How about? First of all, from Raleigh Charter, we have Eric, Wisdom, and Avni. That is Raleigh Charter High School, everyone. And from Lee Early College, we have Maggie, Josh, and Amaria. That is Lee Early College. All right, well, welcomed in. These two teams have played a combined 10 brain games this season, and they know each team will have first crack at 3 questions, of course, in the 8 categories that we have. Correct answers in brain game earn you 20. Miss it, we take 20 away. If a team can't answer, they can pass, so the other team should always be working toward an answer. Let's get this 29th Brain Game Championship underway, everyone. In today's first category, pop-up culture, we're testing our players' knowledge of famous fonts, the specific style and size of text characters used in writing and design. It doesn't matter what font size you respond in, it just needs to be the correct font to get points. All right, players, let's begin this one. Name these famous fonts with Raleigh Charter. Minnow Among Tritons was the first book printed using this font, named for a British newspaper, not one from New York or Italy.
Our team's answer is Times New Roman.
That is correct. Question 2 in this category for Raleigh Charter, designed in the 1750s and named for its designer, who also invented wove paper. This particular family was not haunted by hounds.
Our team's answer is Baskerville.
That is correct. And last one here in pop-up culture for Raleigh Charter. Its use by the movie Avatar is the subject of an SNL sketch. What font takes its name from an ancient writing material?
Our team's answer is Papyrus.
That is right. Way to sweep it. All right. Now it's time for pop-up culture famous fonts with Lee Early College. It isn't named for a mermaid, but for something that might be high off the ground. It was replaced by Calibri as the default in Office 2007.
Our team's answer is Arial.
That is correct. Question 2 in pop-up culture for Lee Early College. Released by Microsoft in 1994, this font is popular with children's books and in education. Its use in serious situations is often ridiculed.
Our team's answer is Comic Sans.
That is right. And last famous fonts for Lee Early College, Latin for Swiss. Its original name was Noi Has Grotesque. Some people were born to raise it.
Our team's answer is Pass.
That goes over to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is Helvetica.
That is correct. Since 1982, North Carolina's first in-flight license plates have featured the advertiser's Gothic font, originally designed in 1917. Let's get to our next category today, headliners. Players, we're testing your knowledge of current events and news items from around the country and the world. Each team begins with a visual clue. All right, Raleigh Charter. Mark Rutte, shown here, is the former Dutch Prime Minister and currently the Secretary General of what 73-year-old defense pact?
Our team's answer is NATO.
NATO is correct. Question 2 in headliners for Raleigh Charter. Hannah Dugan, recently arrested for allegedly helping a man evade ICE custody, is a judge in what state?
Our team's answer is Pass.
Over to Lee Early College.
I should have known this. Our team's answer is Pass.
Wisconsin, the answer we seek. And last headliners for Raleigh Charter. What did the U.S. Navy lose while the USS Harry S. Truman was on station in the Red Sea recently?
Our team's answer is Pass.
That goes over to Lee Early College.
Defer to Maggie.
Our team's answer is a missile.
That is incorrect. F-18 Hornet fighter jet. We would have taken fighter jet, but anyway, we will move on now. Let us now do headliners with Lee Early College. U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen recently visited Kilmar Obrego Garcia in El Salvador. What state does he represent?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is Maryland.
Maryland is the correct state. Back to Lee Early College for headliners. President Trump has threatened to use the IRS to revoke the tax-exempt status of what higher education institution?
Our team's answer is Harvard.
Harvard is the right institution. And last headliners for Lee Early College. Tren de Aragua has members from Chile, Peru, and the U.S., but the transnational gang is based in what South American country?
Let me try something. Our team's answer is Colombia.
That is incorrect, Raleigh Charter.
Yes.
Our team's answer is Venezuela.
Venezuela is the right country. All right, one of these two teams will be our champion, people. The other, a very respectful second-place finish, which brings us to our next category, Across America, where today, players were looking for states by their second most populous city. The clue will be just in the name of the city. Work with your team to correctly identify the state, and you will earn points. Very simple here. All right, so we begin Across America, second cities, with Raleigh Charter. Grand Rapids.
Our team's answer is Michigan.
Michigan is right. Question 2 for Raleigh Charter. Mesa.
Our team's answer is Arizona.
Arizona is right. And last Across America for Raleigh Charter, Aurora.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Lee Early College.
Our team's answer is Colorado.
That is incorrect, Aurora, Illinois. All right, now we're doing Across America, second cities with Lee Early College. Gulfport.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is pass.
Gulfport, Mississippi. Question 2 in Across America for Lee Early College. Worcester.
Massachusetts.
Defer to Maggie.
Our team's answer is Massachusetts.
That is right, Maggie. And last Lee Early College Across America here, Overland Park.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is pass.
Answer there is Kansas. Overland Park, I lived there as a youth for a brief amount of time. No one knows the town, so anyway. All right, players, we have hit our first break of the championship game here. Coming up, we're getting geographical in word power plus arts and lit. Brain Game will be right back, everyone.
In keeping with the FCC regulations regarding children's television programming, WRAL's Children's Programming Report documenting our compliance is available for viewing in the station's online public file, located on the FCC's website at stations.fcc.gov. The Children's Television Programming Report is also available for public viewing during our normal business hours, Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. WRAL TV is located at 2619 Western Boulevard in Raleigh.
Welcome back to Brain Game. After that first round of play, we have Raleigh Charter in there with 180, Lee Early College on the board with 20. It's time to find out now how well our players can do filling in the blanks. In today's word power, we're looking for toponyms. These are words that are derived from the name of a place. One popular example would be champagne, the name given to sparkling wine from the Champagne region of France. So, properly checked in there, we will begin with Raleigh Charter. Toponyms. Here we go. First, you need endurance. First, you got to last to win one of these 8-letter long races named for an epic Greek battle against the Persians.
Our team's answer is marathon.
Marathon is correct. Tel Megiddo in Israel is the predicted site of what 10-letter final battle whose name today means any end of the world scenario?
Our team's answer is... Our team's answer is Armageddon.
Armageddon is correct. And last one in word power for Raleigh Charter. Named for the water from a German city when first sold in 1709. Today, what 7-letter word generally refers to perfume for men?
Our team's answer is cologne.
Cologne is correct. Now, toponyms for Lee Early College. You don't need to go to the city in Iceland to see some of these steam-powered natural fountains, like Old Faithful. What is this 6-letter word?
Our team's answer is geyser.
Geyser is correct. Question 2 in word power for Lee Early College. If you've met this, you're done for. What is this fatal word taken from the Belgian city near Napoleon's last stand against the Duke of Wellington?
Our team's first pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is Waterloo.
Waterloo is right. Now, back to Lee Early College for the last word power. Big in the Ottoman Empire, these red felt hats with black tassels may take their name from the Moroccan city where the red dye was produced.
Our team's answer is Fez.
Fez is correct. The Fez hat in North Carolina and the U.S. is often associated with Shriners International and their great work with children's hospitals. So let's get in our tiny cars now and move on to our next category, arts and literature. Players, anything you have ever learned about painting, music, literature, and the theater could appear in this category. You'll want to work together, figure out an answer. Each team starts with a visual clue. Let's kick it off with Raleigh Charter. This Rogier van der Weyden painting shares its name with Henry James's novel about Isabel Archer. What is this shared title?
The Fur.
No. Need something over there, you guys.
Our team's answer is Portrait of a Young Lady.
That is incorrect. Lee Early College.
Our team's answer is pass.
Answer was The Portrait of a Lady. No young in that. All right. Now we're sticking with Raleigh Charter. His Shirazza might not be as famous as the Flight of the Bumblebee from Tales of Tsar Sultan. Who is this member of the Five?
His answer is Rimsky-Korsakov.
That is Nikolai, you are correct. And last one in Arts and Lit for Raleigh Charter. Ayn Rand takes 1,168 pages to tell the story of railroad barons in an overregulated U.S. business climate. What is this dystopian novel?
Our team's answer is Atlas Shrugged.
See, you were confident there. You got it. Yeah, the host was going too slow. That is correct. Raleigh Charter is right. Now we're doing Arts and Lit with Lee Early College. He painted a number of self-portraits at different ages, but never a self-woodcut. Who is this German printmaker?
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes to Raleigh Charter.
Our team's answer is Albrecht Dürer.
That is correct. Back to Lee Early College for second question in Arts and Lit. Which member of the Five was a chemist as well as composer of the opera Prince Igor?
Defer to Maggie.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter if you want to try.
No pass.
You want to go with it? Our team's answer is Mussorgsky.
That is incorrect. Answer we're looking for there is Alexander Borodin. Last question in Arts and Lit for Lee Early College. The King of Summer Reading is this 4,200-page memoir that arises from tasting a tea cake. What 7-volume Marcel Proust work is this?
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes over to Raleigh Charter if you want to try.
Our team's answer is In Search of Lost Time.
That is correct. All right, players, we have made it now to our next break. When we come back, it's name game, crunching numbers, and rocket science. We are just 19 questions away from finding out which of these teams will be our next champion. Brain Game will be right back, everyone. After that second round of play, we have Raleigh Charter on the board with 300 points. Lee Early College is in there with 60. And we have some substitutes coming into the game for us. First of all, the veteran coming in for Raleigh Charter, Brian is in the game, everyone. There he is. Fantastic wave, too. And now in the game for Lee Early College, we have Sean in the game, representing Lee Early College. There you go. All right, let's get back to the activities here. We are just 3 categories away from the final round and crowning a new Brain Game champion. Today in Name Game, we're asking questions about notable people who used ghostwriters or used to be one. A ghostwriter is a professional writer hired to create content like someone's autobiography that is officially credited to someone else. All right, we begin ghostwriters, Name Game ghostwriters with Raleigh Charter. It was reported that the latter chapters of this South African's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, were effectively written by someone else.
Our team's answer is Mandela.
That is correct. Question 2 in Name Game for Raleigh Charter. What U.S. president won a Pulitzer Prize for his profiles in courage? However, his scriptwriter later admitted that he had actually written the first chapters.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Lee Early College.
Our team's answer is pass.
John F. Kennedy wrote profiles in courage. All right, last Name Game for Raleigh Charter. He wrote all of the music on Channel Orange and Blonde himself. What hip-hop artist started his career as a ghostwriter for Justin Bieber and Beyonce?
Our team's answer is Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean is correct. Now, we're going over to Lee Early College for Name Game ghostwriters. Her husband let slip that she had used the assistance of ghostwriters. What First Lady is credited with the memoir Becoming?
Our team's answer is Michelle Obama.
That is correct. Question 2 in Name Game for Lee Early College. What British Prime Minister wrote a history of the English-speaking peoples, but is known for employing a team of ghostwriters for various articles?
Is it the obvious?
Let's try mine as well.
Our team's answer is Winston Churchill.
That is correct. And last Name Game for Lee Early College. The author, H.P. Lovecraft, was a ghostwriter for Imprisoned with the Pharaohs, a story credited to what famous magician and escape artist?
Our team's answer is Houdini.
Houdini is correct. All right, players, have your pencils and scratch paper ready. It is time now for crunching numbers. You have now twice as much time to answer your questions. If you're still stumped, you can always pass to the other team, so everyone should be working toward an answer. Let's kick off crunching numbers with Raleigh Charter. What is the slope of the line perpendicular to the line? Y equals 4x plus 12y equals 6.
-1/3, so it's probably gonna be +3, right? Yeah, +3.
Our team's answer is 3.
3 is correct. Question 2 in crunching numbers for Raleigh Charter. Determine the coefficient of x squared in the expansion of x plus 1 to the 7th power.
I don't like Pascal.
Need something over there, you guys? Anything?
Eric, do you know? Pass.
Need an answer?
Our team's answer is pass.
Okay, over to Lee Early College if you'd like to try.
I do not.
Our team's answer is pass.
21 is the answer we were looking for. And last question in crunching numbers for Raleigh Charter. What is the measure of each interior angle of a regular polygon with 36 sides?
No idea. Is there a formula? 4 times 1/8 is 4 times h. 32.
I feel like we're deliberating with them.
That's still
Do you want me to pass?
Need something, Raleigh
Our
Charter?
team's
Anything over
answer is
there?
pass.
That goes to Lee Early College.
Might as well.
Defer to Sean.
Our team's answer is 10 degrees.
That is incorrect. 170 degrees was the answer we were looking for. Now, let's crunch numbers with Lee Early College. Suppose the side lengths of triangle ABC are whole numbers whose product is 36. Determine the length of the longest side of the triangle. On the Lee Early College. Anything?
Our team's answer is pass.
Goes over to Raleigh Charter if you would like to try.
Defer Eric.
All right.
The answer is 6.
The correct answer is 4 in that situation. All right. Question 2 in crunching numbers for Lee Early College. At what point do the lines y equals 5x plus 6 and y equals 4x plus 9 intersect?
Defer to Sean.
Our team's answer is 321.
That is right, Sean. And last crunching numbers for Lee Early College. Evaluate the fraction 8 factorial plus 6 factorial divided by 6 factorial.
team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Defer Brian.
Our team's answer is 57.
57 is correct. Good news, players. You've made it through the championship level course of crunching numbers, which is a good thing. We're on now to rocket science, which means there's only 6 questions left before the final round. Today we're covering biology, chemistry, physics, and more. So be sure to work together. Each team begins with a visual clue. And we're starting with Raleigh Charter. Claws faster than a speeding bullet. Eyes that can see in the ultraviolet. What is this carnivorous crustacean?
Mantis shrimp. Yes. Our team's answer is mantis shrimp.
That is correct. Question 2 in rocket science for Raleigh Charter. Proposed by Stephen Jay Gould. What 2-word concept suggests stasis is normal in evolution and change happens in bursts?
I have no idea.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Lee Early College.
You do?
Our team's answer is pass.
Answer there is punctuated equilibrium. Last one in rocket science for Raleigh Charter. Whose principle states that as the speed of a fluid increases, the pressure exerted by the fluid decreases?
Defer Brian.
Our team's answer is Bernoulli.
That is correct, and well said, Brian. Now, let's do rocket science with Lee Early College. What is this asterism, easily recognizable in the southern hemisphere constellation of Crux? It also appears on several flags in Oceania.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter if you want to try.
I can't tell. Just pass.
Our team's answer is pass.
Southern Cross, the answer we're looking for. We're back to Lee Early College for rocket science. What bodily reference helps identify the relationship between magnetic field, velocity, and force on a positively charged particle?
Our team's answer is the right-hand rule.
That is right. Right-hand rule? Right. That is correct. And last rocket science for Lee Early College. In a chemical cell, what is the location at which reduction occurs?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Raleigh Charter.
Defer Brian.
Our team's answer is the cathode.
Cathode is correct. Way to defer over there. All right. But both teams, great job out there. We're just one question away from crowning a champion. Up next, we're globetrotting to Europe for our final clue. Brain Game will be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Brain Game Season 29. The championship, our final 2 teams are locked in with their answers to today's final question, which is, the Oscar-winning animated film Flow was written by Jens Zilbalotis and Matisse Kazaa. They are citizens of what Baltic nation? Let's find out what the 2 teams came up with. First of all, let's go to Lee Early College. Please tell us your answer.
Our team's answer is Latvia.
That was correct. You risked 139 points, bringing your game total to 279. Raleigh Charter, please tell us your answer.
This is Lithuania.
That was incorrect, but you risked 0 points. That brings your total to 420. So with that final score of 420, Raleigh Charter is our new Brain Game champion, everyone. How about that? All right. Very nice. Hey, and can we give a round of applause for our second place finishers, Lee Early College? They did a great job, didn't they, everybody? Round of applause to them. But once again, congratulations to our championship team, Raleigh Charter High School, everybody. What a great season. We want to thank all of the schools from across the area that competed this year. We hope to see you back here at Wake Tech Scott, Northern Wake Campus, next time for season number 30. Thank you so much for watching Brain Game, the smartest 30 minutes on TV.